This is release candidate 2 for the Walking Piano Project by Devin Martin and Jake Wesley Anding. Here on the main menu of the Walking Piano software, you can see the various features that we implemented. We have the challenge mode, the practice mode, free play, settings, and a jukebox mode. We can start off by taking a look at this jukebox mode. So within this mode, we can choose from a variety of songs from this dataset called the Maestro dataset. It's a collection of MIDI files played by professionals, and if you choose a song like this Sonata in C major, we can see it being played. So that's the jukebox mode, and that's a standalone feature that just allows the program to play any MIDI file pretty much, and you can see exactly how it's played. We can take a look at the settings. Here we can set the MIDI devices which interact with the program. By default, we can use this Microsoft wavetable to just hear the audio through Windows, and I have this EMU Export 49 plugged in, which we can use for playing the piano and interacting with the game. We also have this autoplay feature, which is mainly used for showcasing the power of the program and playing some really difficult songs that the user might not be able to play themselves. And we can also set the controller size. In the jukebox mode, it's automatically set to this 88 key piano, but let me showcase the difference real quick. If you go in free play mode with that 88 keys, you see the full piano here at the bottom, and with my connected piano, you can just play any notes. But my piano is not this full size piano, so I really cannot access the notes here at the end. For that reason, I went ahead and implemented this 49 key version, which allows you to have some better visibility and really just see the notes that you can play, which spans that range right there. Going ahead and looking at some other features, we have the practice mode, which allows users to slowly understand a song and play it at a speed that works for them. The game will pause if the user doesn't hit the right note and wait for them to play the right note before continuing. So let's take a look at Mary Had a Little Lamb and see how practice mode works for that song. As you can see, if the user doesn't hit the right note, the game will wait, and assuming the user plays the wrong note, it'll keep waiting until the user hits the right note, and which will continue. And assuming the user plays it correctly, there'll be no pauses, and you can just smoothly play the song at your own speed. And there I let go of the key a little bit too early, so it slowed me down and tried to tell me to play it once more. But yeah, this is practice mode. Moving on, we can take a look at the challenge mode. This is the main feature within the Walking Piano program. We have a 1-player and a 2-player mode. Since I'm by myself, I can just take a look at 1-player mode. And this is very similar to the practice mode, except more songs are available, and you can see a score here up in the top right. By playing the song correctly, you can earn points. And yeah, there will be no help whatsoever, so if you don't play the notes correctly, it will just keep going until the song's over. Once the song is over, we should see a game over message pop up, and that instructs the user to return to the menu at their own free will after they've taken a look at their score and they're pretty much done with the game. So those are the main features we have within Walking Piano Project, but we can take a look at some of the code and some of the documentation that exists for future users and maybe some technical developers. So here we have the one file for the project, start.py. There's a lot of comments for all these files, and it explains in depth what everything does within my documentation website. But to break it down a little bit simply, we have the start.py, which handles the main menu for the game. All the menus that we just looked at are implemented within this start.py, and this is pretty much the driver for the program. From there, we can take a look at the MIDI processor file. This file provides the ability to read the MIDI file and process the MIDI file and get everything needed from the file that can power the game. This class then interacts with the main game file, piano game py. So within this file, the entire game is implemented, and it's all done through this piano game class pretty much. By separating all the contents in different files, it makes the organization pretty easy and allows developers to kind of look at things piece by piece. The MIDI processor file is pretty short overall. The start file is medium length, and the piano game is pretty long. Beyond that, we also have this README for the users, kind of showing them how they would run the game, especially if they haven't installed any of the requirements. We tell them exactly what dependencies are needed, how to install the dependencies, and how to run the game. We also give them a little bit of instructions on how to make their life easier if they want to run the game in full screen mode, which is the default, or put it in any resolution or 1920 by 1080 as is written here. Beyond that, we can take a look at the documentation. So this is my page for the walking piano documentation. We have our 3 files outlined, and pretty much everything within the files is listed here. Developers can read this in depth and kind of understand exactly how the program works. And again, by breaking everything up, I think it makes it pretty easy to understand. The start and the MIDI processor files are pretty easy to comprehend, and the piano game is pretty complex, but it's all laid out here, so I think with time it could be easily understood. Beyond that, we could take a moment to talk about some future work for the project here. Some future work really focuses on linking our software with a real walking piano MIDI controller. That's something that we did not end up getting to in this year. And some other things to consider in the future would be optimizing the program so we can work with more complex songs without any lag or any other complex problems. And one final piece of future work, which I think would be the most important, is to rework or improve the practice mode so that it could work with some more complex songs and prevent any bugs. Right now, it only works with simple songs, and especially it only works in one-player mode. So improving on the practice mode so that users of all skill levels can enjoy the game is something that I'd really focus on in the future. And finally, we can take a moment to just look at the program once more. I'd personally like to highlight the autoplay feature and kind of show the strengths of the program. Although we already looked at some songs, those songs were pretty easy and didn't really highlight the power that the program has. So I'd like to demonstrate one song that I really enjoyed, and I'll let this song play out for the remainder of the video. Again, this is the Walking Piano Project. Thank you for your time and interest, and please enjoy this performance of September by the program.